The end goal here is to not need motivation, right? I don't want to have to force myself to fall in love with the process. I want the process to be attractive as hell so that it's easy for me to get addicted to work and therefore like accomplish goals and et cetera, et cetera. This is the point of this. I guess it starts here. People with addictions are some of the most motivated on the planet. So I thought, what if we could reverse engineer the addiction cycle and turn it into a system and then use that system to get addicted to the boring work that we're avoiding? Video games are kind of a perfect example of this. They're challenging, like our goals should be, but they're also addicting. Like you want to play them. And after experimenting for the past month, I've found 3 strategies that video games use to activate that addiction cycle. And so I took all of them and I put them into a spreadsheet that took me 20 minutes to set up. And now we're getting addicted to our goals. This is month 1 of getting addicted to boring work. The basic idea here, the quickest, easiest thing that you could do right now is reward yourself. The addiction cycle is literally built on rewards. It goes binge, withdraw, anticipation. Binge is the reward. Withdraw is, oh crap, where did the reward go? And anticipation is, hey, I need another reward. Dopamine is released in 2 of these, which reinforces the behavior of looking for and getting the reward. And cortisol and other stress hormones are released during withdrawal, which just makes you feel sucky, so you go look for another reward. Addiction is all about rewards. Video games play on this cycle really, really well. So of course, the first of those 3 strategies is rewards. The best rewards are immediate, easy, and they're awesome. That's probably why we have more people addicted to margaritas than we have to lettuce, because margaritas are far better than lettuce. For the record, I'm not a big gamer. My favorite video game is Pokemon Fire Red for the Game Boy Advance, so I'll be using that as an example for most of these. If I miss anything, then this is an ongoing experiment, so let me know in the comments. I need feedback. It's helpful. When it comes to rewards, think small wins. Imagine if Pokemon was just the champion fight, right? You got your starter, you picked Charmander because you're not some dweeb that picks the water turtle, obviously. And then you fought wild Pidgeys for 15 hours until eventually making it to the Elite Four. That is a very boring game, and Pokemon knows this, so they give you Bug Trainer Joey or whatever, and Team Rocket, and gym leaders, and a rival, etc., etc. And all these times you are feeling small wins. Again, a small win, a reward, tells your brain we should do that again. I used to subscribe to this hustle culture or grind set idea. Oh yeah, I work 12 hours a day and I do nothing except work and I don't reward myself, blah, blah, blah. And that sounds good on Instagram, in a short, but it's not how your brain works. If you don't reward yourself, your brain will find a reward doing something else. So when you do something that you want to repeat, like work on something, then give yourself a reward to teach yourself to do that again. And if you can, reward yourself immediately afterwards. For example, I am gonna get ice cream immediately after I finish filming. Immediately after, because I wanna film more. I wanna grow this channel and this company. If I were you, I would finish watching this video, viewer retention, and then I'd do an hour or 2 of work, and immediately after, because good rewards are immediate, go get ice cream. And if you really want to commit to it, throw the flavor you're going to get in the comments. You have to reward yourself. On the spreadsheet, I have a bunch of small wins and small rewards to keep myself engaged in that cycle and continue doing the behavior that I want to repeat. I have rewards for consistency. If I do daily tasks, I get a certain amount of experience points, like in Pokemon, and I get coins to spend, also like in Pokemon. I have inconsistent rewards because unexpected rewards activate different parts of your brain than expected or predictable rewards. That's the psychology behind casinos. And a lot of video games have used this random loot box kind of play. I just literally put a bunch of small rewards on a list. I copy that list into a free website that lets me spin a wheel. And sometimes it's awesome and sometimes it's mediocre, but spinning the wheel feels good. Another thing that video games are very good at doing is showing progress. They give you a structure, right? Video games have maps and items and experience bars, so you know exactly when the next thing is, and they're very clear about how to get to the next level. There's something called the goal gradient effect that shows your motivation increases as you get closer to a finish line. But again, a lot of times we're bad at setting finish lines for our goals. So creating small wins and small rewards not only helps you because of the reward, but it keeps you motivated because there is an obvious finish line and a clear way to get there. That helps you get addicted to a behavior. In the spreadsheet, I have an experience system and like a level system that I literally just kind of made up off the top of my head. I will say it feels very good to level up. Like I'm filming this right now. It's going to give me some XP and it's going to feel very good to level up. Another thing that structure does is it forces you to prioritize. Video games, Pokemon, for example, does a great job of this. You can only train 6 Pokemon at a time. It's so easy to switch goals or pivot when something gets difficult or not so fun anymore. Having a system that forces you to prioritize, I think, is an essential part of getting addicted to boring work. At the same time, there's another side to this where if you're growing as a person, then your goals should also be growing and changing. Like, that's a good thing. So a lot of video games do this thing where they do seasons. So every 3 months, something will change. I really like that. So I took 3 months. At the end of 3 months, I have a final boss. If I hit it, great. We look back and we say what worked and what didn't, and then we can change our goals and change the procedures, right? This helps me make sure that my goals are consistent with what I want at the time. It also gives me feedback to make sure I'm doing things that are actually getting closer to my goals. The last strategy, the last thing is challenge. And this, I think, is the hardest to do, but I think if you get it right, it is by far the most impactful. When I first thought about challenge, my immediate thought was like PvP, right? If you have somebody that you're against, then you should be more motivated. But that's not entirely the case. It turns out that competition is pretty effective for physical goals, and especially in men. That's not to say women aren't competitive, but men just showed they reacted more to competition. In non-physical goals, competition didn't seem to have as much of an effect. The other part of challenging, which is appropriately challenging, I think is probably the most important part of this whole thing. If a game is too easy, it is boring. And if a game is too hard, it's not fun. Self-determination theory theorizes that there is an optimal level of difficulty that balances perfectly challenge and efficacy. I have not found this level of difficulty yet. I think it is different per person and per task. So I don't think it's easy to do. I've been trying for a month, but I think if you can find this, you win. I think you become wildly dangerous if you figure this thing out for your goal. All right, I took a while to wrap this up, so let's get this together. Here's all 3 of them: rewards, structure, and challenges. I took all of these ideas and I put them into a spreadsheet on Google Sheets. I know that there's other apps that will do this for you that like gamify your life. I just have no patience for big things that take me forever to fill out. So I just made my own. It was super simple. It has kind of worked for the past month, but not really. That's why this is an ongoing experiment. So we're still figuring it out. In my opinion, the most important thing was rewarding myself. The video is done. So go do an hour of work and then go get ice cream and put the flavors you want in the comments. If you had feedback for me or things that I might have missed, put that in the comments so that I can make this experiment better and more useful to everybody. And yeah, I'm getting ice cream. See ya.